Driving across the south of Scotland, it's obvious how important farming is. I'm on my way to meet one farmer who feels the industry needs seismic change. David at the Ethical Dairy wants the government to make public bodies like hospitals and schools serve sustainably produced food, to push farmers to be greener.
Subsidies. I think subsidies are so destructive and counterproductive in so many ways, but you've created this real market for quality food, which the private sector will then follow because the public will demand it.
The COP26 Climate Summit is approaching. If you could have one particular outcome from that, what would it be?
Certainly in the food sector, I would ban industrial food production.
His farm's invested in this giant digester, which turns waste into energy. And they don't use fertilisers or pesticides, improving biodiversity. That's important to staff at our next stop, Logan Botanic Garden. It has a uniquely tropical feel, but suffered severe flooding in February.
Year on year we seem to be getting the same amount of rainfall, however it's the intensity in which we get it that's causing the real issues. The drainage, the existing drainage we have in place just isn't coping with that volume of rainfall all at one go.
On top of dealing with flooding and lowering their carbon footprint, the team here have to contend with rising temperatures.
Well, this is this Loch, what's just in front of us, this was taken in 1890, and this used to freeze over so much that it was used as the regular curling pond. But it hasn't really frozen over to this extent since, let's say, the 1960s.
So that's an example of climate change in action?
Oh, very much so. I've been here 22 years now. The winter temperature used to allow me to get tractors on across the lawn, and now, forget it, you can't even walk across it without actually stinking up to your ankles because it's so wet and soft. So with the climate change, you've also got a biodiversity crisis happening as well, because our normal native plants as such are beginning to be killed out with the rise in the current temperature regime.
We've only got a few miles left to go, but there is an electric charge point here. And if there's one thing I've learned on this journey, it's that when you have an opportunity to charge up, you absolutely have to take it. That has been the most difficult thing for us on this trip across the south of Scotland. If you are able to install your own charge point at home and your driving habits are fairly routine, then an electric vehicle like this could be the perfect option. If you're not able to install your own charge point and you can be called out to drive for work, for example, at any time, then it might well be a bit more difficult for you. Not impossible, but considerably more difficult. Our journey, including many detours, spanned about 256 miles. We stopped to recharge 4 times. We could have done considerably fewer, but rarely had time for a full charge. The Mull of Galloway is Scotland's most southerly point and the perfect place for us to finish our journey. Just 100 odd miles north of here, in a few days' time, some of the world's most powerful people will assemble for COP26, where they'll make decisions which could impact the planet's future. A statement like that deserves an epic view, and they don't come much more epic than this. Greg Hoare, ITV News.